Navigating the complex world of college applications honestly is super overwhelming, and I genuine care for the student and their opinion really is what made me choose Rostrum. And I don't think I'd be able to do any of it without Rostrum. I'm Keisha Dureja and I'm studying law. I'm doing my IBDP right now, but I hope to pursue law in the future. So as of now, I'm going to Northeastern University for the fall of 2025. I got into the Oakland campus for an undecided major, and I hope to pursue political science towards the end. I came down to Rostrum because I realized how personally they connected to each person they were working with and each student, and I thought that's something I'd never seen before, because a lot of the commercialized ones tend to avoid actually building that personal connection. But I really feel like my careers counselor and I are really connected. She gives me new ideas every time. Some of my ideas from my podcast I actually have discussed with her, and after that is when I decide, hey, actually this is a good idea, because she's done psychology and she's done exactly what my best friend wants to do. So it's allowed me to actually understand that, hey, I can actually build a personal connection and get really, really good guidance, knowing that my careers counselor truly wants the best for me. What motivated me to choose Rostrum was how personally connected they were to each student. They ensured that each student felt actually truly recognized, and they ensured that each careers counselor properly reached out to the student to ensure that everything that they were doing was actually of the student's interest and to develop them better. So I think the extent of personal connection and just genuine care for the student and their opinion really is what made me choose Rostrum. Academically, I can see myself getting the opportunity to pursue a lot of things that I'm not able to pursue right now at school. One of my top choices or things to pursue at school would have been global politics. So being able to study politics along with specifically, again, comparative politics, it allows me to understand the focus I want to go through. Just until I get to my postgraduate degree, I want to focus more on why certain political institutions are more successful with their legal systems than others. To me, the balance between doing an extracurricular and just doing academic work has always been something really important to me. I've done extracurriculars basically my entire life. It started out from sports really heavily to also pursuing educationally related. MUN was one of the biggest ones that I've always loved. I've grown up doing MUN ever since 6th grade. And I got to the point where I was so confident and so passionate about MUN that I took over to become the president of my MUN club. That's my school. And I have been the president for the past over 2 years. And we're working towards organizing our first school MUN, which is a huge step from our school because we haven't been able to successfully do that before. And it's making me really excited because I know that I'm playing such a big role, but I'm also getting so much involvement. But along with that, academic writing, I've always enjoyed long form writing. It's just something I find quite, in a weird way, therapeutic because I love doing research about the most random things ever. And the John Locke Essay was a great opportunity for me to actually hone my interest of research specifically into law. So I did the question that was related, the law question for 2024. For my law internship, I got to intern with a firm in India, and I got to understand consumer law better and consumer protection law, something that I pursue at school through business studies, business management. And for the same reason, I think it was really good for me to actually understand the legal aspect of it, because it's allowed me to better understand my school subject better. And debate's been a passion, much like MUN. I did it for multiple years. I even won nationals and represented India at the Stanford Invitational. So leadership and problem solving skills, all of them have helped me develop my skills because MUN, for example, it allows a lot of critical thinking, which in my opinion, critical thinking and leadership go so hand in hand, because you're in no way able to be a good leader if you don't critically analyze each situation. Along with that, because I've led the MUN club, it's allowed me to understand the responsibility that goes behind it. Similar with swimming, the amount of effort, the commitment, and the perseverance it takes. So I've realized that all of my extracurriculars all together actually really helped me. So my John Locke essay was on the question of, if your parents said your bedtime is 11 p.m. but you don't go to sleep at 11 p.m. and they don't punish you, is 11 p.m. actually your bedtime? I thought this question out of all of the options was actually really interesting because it looked into psychology as well beyond just law, and it allowed me to learn about things that I didn't know before. regardless of the fact that the other questions were also delving into legal areas that I wasn't aware of, I thought the combination of just psychology and law made this so intriguing for me to actually understand more about. And what I wrote about was the fact that it's actually not your bedtime, because I personally believe that, and also there's law that states this, your parents have legal authority to do something in your best interest. And when they don't ensure that it's applicable completely and it's not working in your best interest, technically they're legally accountable for it. And it puts a lot of perspective into a lot of the things I think about now, because we've discussed similar stuff in school and I somehow am able to link it to this. It's quite shocking, but yeah. But I really liked writing the essay. It was a great process for me to understand the importance of and the style that it and the work that it takes behind writing an academic essay. Participating in the John Locke Essay competition really allowed me to improve my writing, specifically for college applications, in my opinion. It allowed me to become more critical, and it allowed me to ensure that I'm not being overly descriptive or overly narrative. I'm hitting that perfect spot in between where I'm able to convey to a college, any college board, that this is what I want to tell you, this is my story, and this is how this story has impacted my life right now. And I think doing these competitions and these long form essays has really allowed me to understand how to better do that. So yeah, it's honed in my skills a lot more. I enjoyed writing my Common App essay and all my other college application essays. I also think because they're long form essays and that's just something I enjoy, but it definitely improved my skills in doing so. What I believe might have made it stand out from thousands of applicants would be that I spoke about a story that's so true to me and so important to me, because it made me realize that I'm no longer the same person, but that's not a problem. Change is inevitable and it's not something that I should be afraid of. And I spoke about how I actually started to dislike something I loved. My first love was something I disliked, which I don't think a lot of people actually admit, that they start to hate something that they took so seriously and got awards for so many years. So I think that might have made me stand out, talking about it actually critically and seeing that it's not always what it seems like. Michael Phelps may have not loved swimming the entire time, but we think he did because he's so good at it. So it's something that I think might have made my application stand out. On my second draft is when I realized that I want to hone in on the fact that I've realized that my transformation as a person, realizing that competitions shouldn't be all that swimming is to me, was when I realized that's what I want my essay to be. And I think that's when I realized that's something different, and I hadn't thought of it myself. I hadn't realized it myself until my second draft, and I was like, that's probably what it's become to me. It's become something that I don't need to accomplish to enjoy. It's become something that I need to just enjoy to enjoy. I discovered Rostrum actually through my mother, and we were looking for careers counselors at the time, and she was getting ads all over. Don't know if the phone's listening to her, but might be. And she was getting ads all over, and Rostrum came up, and we realized someone we knew, she also went to Rostrum, and we were like, that's probably it, that's a sign. We can trust them, we know someone that's worked with them before. To craft a strong application and just portfolio in general, my careers counselor and I went over some of the activities I've done and realized there's so many more activities that I could pursue quite simply by honing in more onto the fact that I want to pursue law. So whether it would be courses on Coursera or going to summer school for law, we realized that smaller things that actually added up to my interest, added up to like create a better and a stronger portfolio for my interest for law, would actually vastly benefit my overall portfolio and application in comparison to my application without it. And so I believe my careers counselor really helped me realize these smaller things that I could work on, and even larger things. We were planning on writing a thesis at one point, which didn't fall through because I was writing something similar for my school. But it was a great process of actually just being able to research about it and being able to understand that I can actually go so much beyond what I thought I could. Regardless of it benefiting my application, it was just interesting to me. So they really made my extracurriculars sound so much better than they were in my mind. And while they didn't overboast about it, they actually just made it sound more poetic. They also made me realize there were so many smaller things that I could have added in. Like, for example, my going to King's College for summer school for law, or doing courses. I've done multiple courses by Harvard, Yale, Michigan, just to ensure that I'm showing my genuine interest for the subjects I want to study at uni. So they made me highlight some of the things I like most, especially research. They allowed me to actually talk about it and prove to universities that my interests actually extend beyond just what I want to pursue at university. They go far towards even maths and physics, because those are just things that I find interesting. I might not want to pursue, but they found a way for me to highlight everything that I like. They allowed me to still talk about it. While a lot of applications you'd see only talk about, oh, these are the things I've done related to my career and related to what I want to do in the future, they allowed me to also talk about, these are some things that I find truly interesting and I might just continue to research into it at university despite not wanting to pursue it, just as a passion project. And they allowed me to go into how not everything has to be super educational at its core. You can actually go beyond that and show your interest into a wide variety of things, and universities actually like that. Navigating the complex world of college applications honestly is super overwhelming, and I don't think I'd be able to do any of it without Rostrum. From actually writing your essays and being able to pursue a reader that you're actually worth that seat at their university, it's genuinely incredible how much help they actually provide you to ensure that you're giving your best possible shot to every university, whether it be university-specific essays or deciding what colleges I actually want to apply to. I realized earlier on that some of the colleges I wanted to apply to were good, but not the best at what I wanted to do. And my careers counselor found me universities that are really, really good at what I wanted to do, whilst also balancing the life I want to lead in the future. So she allowed me to look at unis and research into things more specifically and make me realize that, hey, yes, these unis are great, but they're not great for what you want to do specifically sometimes. So for sure, they helped me navigate through the complex world of applications so much. My essays improved. I got to talk about the biggest mix of essays. My personal and academic goals have improved because I also think with the help of Rostrum, I've become more focused on to knowing that, yes, I want to pursue law and I want to pursue the double specification in law in the future, which is international law and criminal law. It's allowed me to understand that not everything is a one-way street. A lot of lawyers say it's weird when lawyers do double specifications because they seem confused. But I think with the help of Rostrum, I've realized you don't have to specifically just fit into one box. You can, why have a box, really? So they've really helped me realize that my academic and educational career is not what I originally thought it would be, and in the best way possible. If I had to describe Rostrum in 3 words, it would be resourceful, informative, and I'd say targeted. I think the Rostrum mentors played a really big role in guiding me by providing me with little pushes towards actually urging me to see the bigger picture. I realized at times I was focusing on really small things, but they made me realize it's just a small piece in an entire puzzle. They made me realize that putting smaller efforts into even smaller things actually makes everything at the end so much better. So I really think they've helped guide me towards understanding that every little thing requires effort, but each little thing is not the deciding factor. Everything together as a puzzle and a final picture will be your deciding factor. The advice I would give to students aiming for top universities would be, look into more universities that you think you're going to need. You're going to go through a period where you're confused. Knowing more than you're supposed to will never let you down. It'll actually only benefit you. So I'd say research as much as you can, learn as much as you can about the university to know that this is the one for me. While looking for a top university, I think Rostrum's guidance really helped me realize that these are the universities that are good for what I want to do. I want to go to these unis. How do we meet common ground at these are the best unis for me to apply to? They allowed me to realize that beyond just the major I want to pursue, I should maybe look at the minors they offer. I should look at if I have the opportunity to do a double major, which is what made me realize that these are my top universities and the targets that I want to hit. And their guidance really helped me ensure that I'm not applying to places blindly.